Agatha Christie, Thomas Edison, Tim Tebow, Venus and Serena Williams, Whoopi Goldberg, Sandra Day O'Connor, and Charlie Chaplin are just a few of the many homeschooled celebrities. Some of you may be thinking about having children someday, or already do have them, and are probably wondering what type of education career you would like them to have. I'm sure you have for sure thought of the traditional school where you drop them off at school in the morning, pick them up in the afternoon, and they're there all day with a teacher and are surrounded by 20 or more other children. But I'm sure you have not thought of homeschooling. Homeschooling would allow the child to have a one-on-one education with another teacher. I have spent several months researching this topic, and it is not my first time looking into it. Parents should consider homeschooling their children because they will gain a better knowledge of how beneficial it is, how some children aren't getting the best from public education, and how homeschooling will be beneficial to their children. Some parents look into different education options for their children, but one type they tend to overlook is the idea of homeschooling. First, I will talk to you about how homeschooling helps students learn better. Parents overlook the idea of homeschooling and would cringe when someone would tell them that they homeschool their children. Parents do not need to have an upper-level education at all. This is good because parents would not need to hire another teacher and would be able to teach their children on their own. Also, if the child is learning something they do not understand, this teaches them to problem solve and find a way to learn it without depending on their parents or another teacher. According to the National Home Education Research Institute, most children who are homeschooled are better off in social, emotional, and psychological development, have more peer interaction, and are involved in several other activities, have better leadership skills, participate in community service, and have higher self-esteem. An article on the Washington Post stated that an average of 69% of those homeschooled participate in at least one extracurricular activity. Besides overlooking homeschooling, parents are unaware that homeschooling can help their children to become better students. Next, I will discuss how students score differently on standardized tests. In a public school, there's typically one teacher and 20 or more other students in the classroom. This one teacher has to find a way to suit the needs of each student, and some of those students have more needs than others. The National Home Education Research Institute also states that those homeschooled score 15 to 30 percentile points above those who go to a public school. Those who go to a public school typically score in the 50th percentile, and those homeschooled score in the 65th to 85th percentiles. Homeschooling may not be your thing, but it may be what is best for your child. Finally, I will talk about how to begin homeschooling your child and some of the benefits of homeschooling them. Choosing homeschooling because of outstanding benefits it provides your children. Homeschooling is on the rise and is what more and more parents are choosing to do. A report from the Department of Education in 2013 reported there are around 1,770,000 students being homeschooled. J. Michael Smith, advocate and president of HSLDA, stated within 5 years, the percentile of those homeschooled has gone up 17%. According to Sunlight, parents enjoy being able to control what and when their children learn certain topics, giving their children the opportunity to learn hands-on, have personal attention for their children to gain the most out of their education, and so many more. When parents are looking to begin homeschooling, PBS parents recommend that the parent looks into their state laws about homeschooling and where to begin. They also recommend developing an approach, then talking to their local homeschooling community, and then to just be patient because this is a long and stressful process. Some people do not realize how many benefits there are to homeschooling. Homeschooling is more beneficial to a child's academic achievements, and they tend to be better off because of all of the hands-on experience they have. First, I talked about how parents overlook the idea of homeschooling and how it will help their children to be better learners. Next, I talked about how some children in America aren't getting the best out of their public education. My final topic was how to begin homeschooling and what benefits there are to it. As Robert Kunzman once said, Homeschooling is shaping not only of intellect, but especially more of character.